Odds are you sell your house faster if you tell more people about it. That's what this machine does. Like any agent, I find buyers locally, but I can also send a picture and description of your house to buyers in any one of our 4,000 offices. It's like a national multi-list, and only ERA has this system. Think about the odds and then call us. We can find more buyers. That's another reason your ERA real estate specialist is the person you need to know in real estate.
This Bud's for all the people who make the sidelines a part of the show.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do,
this Bud's for you.
Primetime baseball is back on NBC Tuesday night as the explosive Dodgers take on the Astros in a battle for best in the West. Or see the Pirates and Phillies in an Eastern Division dogfight. And next Sunday, there's a full day of football on NBC. See regional coverage of exciting NFL action featuring the awesome Steelers versus the Burt Jones-led Colts and the Raiders-Chargers clash. Check local listings for the game in your area.
It's a mark of the strength of the Houston Oilers that they trail only 17-0 at halftime because it was all Pittsburgh that first 30 minutes.
I think if Chuck Noll had drawn the game plan, he would have included everything except the 2 bad passes by Bradshaw. Pittsburgh has had their way offensively and defensively, and they've got a lot of material for their highlight film already. The season's only...
Especially that steel curtain. They know how to make the big plays. So 17-0, the score here in Pittsburgh as they lead the Oilers. Now let's pick up all the other action. Bryant in New York.
Thank you, Dick Enberg. We welcome you all back to NFL 80. Week number 1's producing few surprises. The Pittsburgh Steelers are indeed snuffing the Houston Oilers. Meanwhile, up in New England, the Patriots have found a defense. They are shutting out the Cleveland Browns, and Miami going for 21 straight over Buffalo. We'll get you caught up with all the scores and the highlights right after these messages from your local station.
On Disney, Daring Do with Mickey Mouse and his pals, Mickey's Greatest Adventures. Then on Chips, can Ponch and John learn the real cause of Bonnie's accident? Then it's television's Night on the Town when all your favorite primetime stars shine their brightest. Don't miss the 1980 Emmy Awards right after Disney and Chips Sunday.
how do you give your thirst a workout? Tell them what you want and make it clear. This one's for drinking. Lift it up and pump an iron. This one's for drinking. Lift it up and pump an iron. Pump an iron, city beer. Hey, give me an iron. This one's for drinking. Pump an iron and pump another. This one's for clinking. Pump an iron, city beer.
Hey, mister, can I get a tax shelter?
Sure you can, if you're not in the pension plan. Open an IRA account at the Union Savings and Trust Company and invest 15% of your annual income. Now deduct that sum up to $1,500 from your taxable income. Then watch it grow. You'll only pay taxes on that money years later as retirement income.
For details, ask at any of the 10 offices of the Union Savings and Trust Company.
I'm Bob Albert, Vice President Sales for Sharon Steel Corporation. Sharon Steels are not raw materials, they're carefully engineered products. Greenville Steel Car Company builds long-lasting cars for coal hauling. To cut down weight without sacrificing strength, Sharon works with Greenville to provide high-strength, low-alloy steels for side stakes, slope sheets, and hoppers that will withstand repeated shock and abrasion. For engineered steel and technical help, call Jim Byrne at Sharon's General Office in Hubbard Township.
WFMJ, Youngstown.
Back to NFL 80 on this first Sunday. It has not been the best of days for the Houston Oilers or for Kenny Stabler. They marched into Three Rivers Stadium talking about closing the gap between the Oilers and the Pittsburgh, but the Steelers have wrecked the plans. It has been all Pittsburgh in the first half at Three Rivers, and Steeler fans could indeed be excused if they're already making preparations to be in New Orleans come January. Terry Bradshaw, only 7 for 16 in the first half, but he's picked his spots. Here was one of those spots early on. Remember the Steelers scored the last time touchdown of last season. They also got the first of this season. Game less than 2 minutes old when Sidney Thornton went in to make it 7-0. It's been a good ball game for Thornton. He is more than just a backup to Franco Harris now. But with that run, he's set up. A score by number 32. Franco is still the bread and butter guy. By the end of the day, he'll be the third leading rusher in NFL history. Bradshaw has alternately gone to Stallworth and to number 88. Right here, Lynn Swan across the middle. This one set up. A Matt Barr field goal that made it 17-0. By contrast, Kenny Stabler, well, number 12 has had his problems. 9 for 20 for just 63 yards and 4 interceptions. And remember the little exchange Mike Wagner and Mike Barber had a couple of years ago when Wagner was hurt? Well, Wagner got up and handed that ball to Mr. Barber. 17-0 at the half. Pittsburgh out in front. Things have got to go better for Houston in the second half. They're a better ball club than what they've shown. Cleveland playing up at Foxborough today. This one standing at 13-3. Patriots out in front. Patriots scoring in a 10-yard touchdown pass to Harold Jackson. Jackson's 500th career reception. Steve Grogan is still the starter up in New England. Despite a lot of controversy, a lot of people say that Kavanaugh should be playing, but it is Grogan that's playing. And early on right here, he was intercepted by Lawrence Johnson, but Cleveland really couldn't get anything going. When New England got the ball back, Grogan up top again, but the Browns defense stiffened. They had to call in a field goal by John Smith. 37-yard field goal got them on the board. That made it 3-0. After another Smith field goal, it was Grogan once more to the air. This time hitting Chuck Foreman. Acquisition from Minnesota and a man who's taken up much of the slack with the absence of Cunningham. And then the touchdown to Jackson right there. That made it 13-0. The Browns have since added a Cockroft field goal in the second period. That one stands at 13-3. Buffalo against Miami. It's a strange game going on at Rich Stadium, one with a lot of mistakes. The Bills out in front, 3-0 at the half on a Nick Mickemeyer field goal of 40 yards. The Bills have to feel they're a bit jinxed when they play the Dolphins. They have lost to Miami 20 straight times. Game has been filled with mistakes. Bob Greasy sacked early, fumbled, recovered by Scott Hutchinson. Buffalo played giveaway too. Watch this one. Joe Ferguson scrambles out, gets hit by Don McNeil. He coughs up the ball, and Miami recovers. Turnaround's fair play again. Bruce Hardy shows that even tight ends can fumble. Jeff Nixon comes up with that one there. And then it was Curtis Brown's turn, number 47, the fourth fumble of the game, the fourth one to go over to the other club. It was not only handed over by that route, also by interception. Jeff Nixon's interception led to a Nick Mickemeyer field goal. Mickemeyer's field goal from 40 yards out was good. Buffalo out in front, 3-0, playing at home against a Miami ball club whose offense seems to be stalled under Bob Greasy. Shula says Bob is his man, but pressure may force him to go with Strzok by season's end. In Cincinnati, Tampa Bay is out in front, 10-3 in that ball game. Ian Sunner, a 35-yard field goal. Yepremi in a field goal, but then Tampa Bay has scored once again. Both teams anxious to show something about last year. Tampa Bay to show that last year was not a fluke. Cincinnati to show that it was. Giants against St. Louis. This one's at the half at Busch Stadium. It stands at 14-all. Phil Simms has thrown 2 touchdown passes to Ernest Gray, one of 10 yards, one of 37 yards. Just before the halftime, Wayne Morris went in from 10 yards out to tie that ball game at 14-4. As noted, Buffalo out in front of Miami, 3-0. That ball game going on at Rich Stadium. Let's go up there live, and we check in with Bob Costas and Mike Hafner.
3rd down and 7. Bob Costas with Mike Hafner in Buffalo, and Joe Ferguson trying to hit his rookie running back, Joe Cribbs, out of the backfield, incomplete, and Buffalo is going to have to kick. We welcome those of you who have been watching NFL 80. Updating the situation here in Buffalo, it is 3-0 with 13 minutes and 26 seconds to play, third quarter. Buffalo in front of Miami on a Nick Mickemeyer field goal of 40 yards late in the second quarter.
And I'll tell you, Buffalo again stalled, and now Miami has got to take the force on offense.
Nathan back deep for Miami. Tony Nathan is the deep man, awaiting the kick by Greg Cater. And that kick, partially blocked, scooped up by one of Buffalo's up men, Shane Nelson. It's going to be Miami ball in Buffalo territory. There are flags down all over the place.
Well, that was mass confusion, Bob. Cater that time got a good snap, but he fumbled it around and couldn't get set to take his 2 steps. Let's take a look at him right here. Oh, he got a short hop. Now he's fumbling it around, and that gives Miami a chance. Now he almost drops the thing, and he kicks it off the point, and I think it was a bit, somebody got a hand on it at least. and it turns out to be an awful punt. Miami's going to get the ball.
Referee Gordon McCarter is going to sort this thing out for us.
I guess he's not.
The poor punt has given Miami good field position. If they can take it in, they can at least tie the ball game. Buffalo out in front, 3-0 early in the third period. In Minnesota, up in Bloomington, Minnesota out in front of Atlanta. That one's 14-6 at the half. San Francisco has taken a 14-7 lead over New Orleans on 2 touchdowns by rookie Earl Cooper. And the Bears are trailing Green Bay. That one's 6-3 at the half. Don't forget, coming up later on NBC, because it's a doubleheader weekend, the Colts going against the Jets, the Broncos going against the Eagles, the Raiders, and the Chiefs renewing an old rivalry. And under the Kingdome up in Seattle, it'll be the Chargers against the Seahawks. The air will be filled with footballs. We've got a second half of football to come, so let's go back to Three Rivers, rejoin Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen.
Thank you, Bryant. In the first half here in Pittsburgh, the Steelers leading the Oilers 17-0. I feel like I should drop the microphone when I talk about Houston, and I'm sorry about that for you Houston fans, but it's been that bad for them. 7 times in the first half, Stabler had the ball on the button, and it was dropped by an Oiler receiver, and it's only emphasized and exaggerated all the more because Pittsburgh's receivers, Swan and Stallworth, making catches with Oilers all around them and jackknifing them and knocking them down. They don't drop the ball.
One of the things that's easy to do is to say, obviously, a lack of effort on the part of Houston. I don't think that's the case, Dick. I think perhaps they have been too intense, that they're trying too hard. They've had 10 days to get ready for this game. They've obviously pointed for this game a lot longer than that. I think they came in so intense and so tight that they're actually working against themselves. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can relax and get down to business and start playing some good football in the second half.
Well, Coach Bum Phillips may have to call in all of his country wisdom to get them to relax a bit more. They can only go one way, don't you think?
Yes, they can't look any worse than they did in that first half, and I doubt if Bum had much to say to them at halftime. These people are the kind of people who would say to themselves, hey, you don't have to say I played horribly in that first half. I know it. I'm going to try and do something about it in the second half. I guess the question is, can they? Can they, in fact, do something against this very powerful Pittsburgh team?
Steelers have scored on a touchdown pass from Bradshaw to Thornton that you've seen. Harris, who's only 2 yards away from becoming the #3 rusher in National Football League history. That should happen early in the third quarter. Field goal by Barr at 17-0. Pittsburgh leads Houston as we await the second half. Right now, back to Bryant in New York. This 1980 National Football League game is being brought to you by the new K cars, Dodge Aries K and Plymouth Reliant K, coming October 2nd from the new Chrysler Corporation. By the Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull, more taste than beer, more quality ingredients than premium beer. So don't say beer, say bull. By America's full-service bankers, ready to serve you where you see this symbol. And by Ryder Truck Rental, the best truck money can rent.
Any last request?
I'll have a beer.
Bull.
B-U-L-L. The name of your secret organization, of course.
Get smart. The Schlitz Malt Liquor Bowl. Got more taste than beer. More quality ingredients than premium beer.
Bull does have more taste than beer. That's 14 of my crack agents breaking through that wall. Would you believe one wild bull? Don't say beer, say bull. The Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull.
Allstate challenges you. Find your homeowner's insurance policy, then bring it in and compare.
I personally accept Allstate's challenge.
Because all homeowners insurance is not alike. Allstate could show you ways to get more for your money.
Allstate's thrown us a challenge. Keep looking.
Allstate homeowners insurance could give you more value for the money. So find your policy and bring it in.
I found it.
You found it? You're in good hands with Allstate. That's a promise.
Plymouth challenges Datsun 510 with a front-wheel drive Plymouth Horizon. In an independent test, 50 people considering buying an import next time compared a Plymouth Horizon to a Datsun 510 hatchback for styling, features, driving ease, riding comfort. Based on this, they preferred Plymouth Horizon to the Datsun overall by a score of 41-9.
Compare for yourself. The new Chrysler Corporation has the front-wheel drive cars to challenge the imports right now.
We're ready for the second half. Warming up, number 12 in black, Terry Bradshaw, and just loosening up, Ken Stabler, number 10. His younger brother of 9 years, Craig Bradshaw, who's made this Houston club a 7th-round draft pick from Utah State. Mama says, I love them both. but I hate to say it, as well as Terry sings, and he has many albums, Craig puts him to school, and he says, Craig is my better voice. Craig, and I told Terry about that. I said, well, you just let me hear his records. Right now, it's Pittsburgh in front, 17-0, but Houston will get the ball first, starting the second half. Barr sidewinder to Carl Roaches. The little guys to the 10. Spun around, stays on his feet to the 30. He's slippery, and he's out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Mike Wagner bumped him out of bounds. Russell Davis also in on the play.
Well, at least Craig had a good sense to go to a good college, Utah State. I'm glad to see that. Roaches, looks to me if he really tucked that shirt in tight, the numbers might disappear part way. Not very tall at all. They say a strong 5'6" or 5'7", Dick.
Well, they list him at 5'8", but he can't be any taller than 5'6", about 155 pounds, out of Texas A&M. All right, Stabler sets his line. Earl Campbell, the lone back behind him. White Shoes Johnson to the left. Mike Renfro to the right. Stabler's going to throw on first down. And finds Barber open over the middle. Tackled immediately at the 47-yard line. And there is one of the marks of Ken Stabler, the steady, experienced veteran. A lot of quarterbacks would have panicked there. Lots of time. He wiggled free, kept his cool, and found the open man. It's first down for Houston on the first play of the second half. It appeared Stabler might have been bumped up a little bit on that as he goes back to the huddle.
A chance for you to watch the very cool Ken Stabler. Right there, that's what you said, Dick. He could have panicked there. Instead, just pulled the ball down, took a step, completed the pass. That one was hung on to by Mike Barber.
Stabler was 9 for 21 in the first half for only 63 yards and had 4 picked off, 3 of those on deflections. Campbell, short yardage. Campbell was the only man who carried the ball for Houston the entire first half. 7 attempts, 24 yards for Campbell.
Operating with a single back in the backfield much of the time. Really a disadvantage for a running back. No blocking back for you. Makes it tough to operate. Certainly one of the things that Campbell is going to do for Kenny once they both get rolling a little better than they have in this first half is to complement one another.
9 men, now 11 men on the line of scrimmage for Pittsburgh. Under a full blitz and a flag down, and holding was Cole, Robin Cole, who was isolated on Castor, and with that 11-man defensive line, you cannot afford someone to slip deep, and Cole may have saved a touchdown by grabbing on, although at the same moment Stabler was dumping it off because time had run out. That's really an interesting play, and Houston has put in that, they call it their sticky defense, an 11-man defensive line. You're gambling you can get a quarterback who's not too mobile, get him down for a sack.
Number 56,
and the reverse of that gamble is that
first down.
You might get an easy touchdown the other way.
Well, and one of the kinds of teams or kinds of quarterbacks you don't want to run it against is a mobile quarterback, because very often you can get a man on a quarterback, and if he can scramble away, that means you got one-on-one coverage on receivers, and that's an awfully dangerous thing, especially against a team like Pittsburgh with a Swan and a stalwart.
First down play, and open is White Shoes, complete at the 35 and pays the price for it as Mike Wagner made the solid hit. Wagner from Western Illinois. Johnson makes the catch, but a roar from the crowd and not getting the reaction to what that may be.
I think what they said was that he coughed that ball up as he hit the ground, and they're not going to give him the reception. They're being very tough on that this year, possession. And he was hit as he caught it, driven to the ground. The official on the scene said he dropped the ball. We'll let you watch it from home. Stabler back, he gets it on target, and that's the first 2 passes that have been not only on target but caught. Watch the hit there, and let's see, looks like that ball was loose, in fact, on the ground. Good call by the official.
Well, Phillips doesn't agree, and not been a good day here in Pittsburgh again for the coach of the Oilers. Second down and 10. Going for Renfro, incomplete, and again, Donnie Shell right there with the receiver, making contact as the ball arrived. You saw that Miami score, Bob Greasy on a pass to Tony Nathan to give the Dolphins a 7-3 lead early in the third quarter.
And again, the problem of the first half revisited. Stabler had it in the hands of Mike Renfro. The ball went through his hands, although certainly in that case, the defensive play, the very aggressive defensive play of Donnie Shell, number 31, had a lot to do with Renfro's inability to hang on to the pass.
At the Pittsburgh 45, 3rd and 10. Offensive line, a Mock at center, Carter and Fisher the guards, Gray and Heyman at tackle. That's Carpenter in motion. Over the middle, wide open, Carpenter. He's at the 30. deepest penetration of the Oilers today. Good call by Stabler as Carpenter slipped through after going in motion, was open over the middle, a 24-yard gain.
11 man up. You see Jack Ham blitzing. Everybody coming right there. Stabler picks it. Carpenter read it. Shot to the inside. And there is nobody to get Carpenter until he's well downfield. Finally tackled there, but good field position. A chance maybe for the Oilers to get themselves back on the scoreboard. They need that desperately.
First down at the 20. Renfro, number 82 to the right. White Shoes Johnson, 84 left. Tight end. Castor on the left side. Number 88. And it's Renfro complete, but short yardage, maybe 3 at best. As coming up to meet him was Jack Lambert, the middle linebacker from Kent State, the NFL Rookie Defensive Player of the Year in '74, and tougher every season.
As Ken Stabler becomes more comfortable and as he develops his rapport with his teammates, he's going to force defensive teams to cover all of the field. He loves the short passing game. He's capable of going deep. And with the running game of an Earl Campbell, he is going to give Houston a more complete offense. But it's going to take some time. You're seeing just a glimpse here, a preview of what it will look like.
Second down, 7. Up the middle, Campbell inside the 15 to the 14, where it'll be 3rd and 4. You saw the score, Green Bay and Chicago. They're playing in 3s there, 2 field goals apiece. Bob Thomas is connected from 34 to make it 6 and 6 in the 3rd quarter. The Oilers desperately in need of points, trailing 17-0. All 17 points scored in the first quarter. Pittsburgh came out like a rocket. Renfro right, Ronnie Coleman and White Shoes Johnson left. Carpenter behind Stabler. This is a pass situation, and he puts Carpenter in motion. No back behind him. Over the middle, Carpenter incomplete. Lambert on the coverage. Carpenter was shaking loose in the end zone, but Stabler didn't have quite enough time. Another half second, that's a touchdown.
Well, put on your helmet. You can come right down on the field with us. Get into the action. Carpenter incensed. Felt like he'd been banged around on that one. Jack Lambert doing a good job of covering. Carpenter felt like he had been wronged on that particular play and grabbed. Here you go. Carpenter will be coming right into the center from the right side of your picture. Watch it here, right there. You get the little bump on the hip, but I think that Jack Lambert was in fact going for the ball.
Tony Frisch to try for the first points of the day for Houston. 31 yards away. Nielsen to hold. And the man who was the most accurate kicker in the league last year boots it home. Frisch missed only 4 of 25 last season. Makes good on his first attempt this year. With nearly 5 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter, Houston on the board. Pittsburgh leads 17-3.
Radio Shack announces its second major computer breakthrough in 3 years. First, the TRS-80 Model 1 personal computer under $500. Now, the new TRS-80 Model 2 computer, a powerful small business system that smashes the $10,000 barrier. Base priced under $3,500. Both offer disk storage, printers, and software. The new TRS-80 Model 2 business computer, built in Texas and ready for you to buy or lease at Radio Shack, the biggest name in little computers.
Muhammad Ali, the football preview issue of Inside Sports, is a real blockbuster.
And Larry Holmes is going to get hit with a real blockbuster, too.
September Inside Sports digs into college and pro football to give you the real lowdown on the upcoming season.
I'm going to make Holmes a real lowdown, too.
80 pages of football, plus baseball, the Olympics, and a centerfold picture view.
And after I destroy Holmes, on 80 pages just on me.
September Inside Sports, the football preview, at your newsstand now.
It's Bryant Gumbel in New York. At Buffalo, the Dolphins have finally gotten on the board. Touchdown pass of 4 yards from Bob Greasy to Tony Nathan. Dolphins out in front 7-3 that ball game early in the 3rd period. And in Hawaii last week, I got to meet a lot of our friends who told us they get up at 7 in the morning to watch NFL football. We hope they're enjoying the Pittsburgh-Houston game, but unfortunately for them, the game is delayed, the game between San Francisco and New Orleans. So for our friends out in Honolulu and Maui and elsewhere, it is 14-7 San Francisco out in front of New Orleans. Let's go back to Pittsburgh and Three River Stadium.
I thought Bryant was in New York all the time. He got away to Hawaii, eh? It's 17-3 here. Pittsburgh leading Houston. The Oilers have finally scored, taking the kickoff to start this second half all the way to the Pittsburgh 14. Larry Anderson, 20, 30. Oh, he's tripped up as he crosses the 35 at the 36-yard line, and Anderson was off to the races just as he started the game with a brilliant 63-yard kickoff return. That one was 30 yards, and it looked as if he was going to get much more. Carl Roaches, the little guy, lost in the pile, got a little piece of him apparently.
Looked to me like there was a clip in there, but difficult to see right there. Number 73 on the back of Corker, John Corker, the linebacker. But what a great save. Oh, my. He was off and running.
Ball at the 36-yard line. Bradshaw, his team in front by 2 touchdowns. He's 7 of 16 first half, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown. And Franco Harris looking to move ahead of Jim Taylor into the number 3 position. His stop for a loss at the 34. He'll now need 4 yards. Don't forget, following the game, fans, NBC Sports continues its exciting coverage of NFL football. Second game of our doubleheader. Most of you will see, oh, that should be a good one, Denver and Philadelphia. Also, Baltimore and the Jets, Oakland, Kansas City, and San Diego, Seattle. So stay tuned. NBC Sports will proudly bring you the second half of our matchup here on NFL. 35-yard line. They allowed progress there. Audible eyes at the line of scrimmage by Bradshaw. 2nd and 11. Good protection. And another fine catch with men all around him. Lynn Swan makes the reception. J.C. Wilson had an early hit. And here's a case where they'll not take the catch probably, but the penalty, because that'll give them an automatic first down out of the 43.
The Oilers in a 4-man rush, trying to get some pressure on Bradshaw, still unable to do it. Getting excellent protection from his offensive lineman, Steve Corson, number 77. A little help from 52, Mike Webster. Looked like a little bit of an early tap there by the defensive back as he goes over the shoulder of Swan. They will give him a first down. Bradshaw will have the ball. Oiler defense needs to tighten it up here. They got to stop him, get the ball back for that offense. Looked like a little fire coming into that offensive team for the Oilers. They need another chance to get that football.
So no catch for Swan. The Steelers do take the penalty interference and the first down at the 43-yard line. Beautiful day. It's in the 80s, but the humidity low. A nice cool breeze at Three Rivers. Franco, he needs 3. Did he get it? If he did, he's out to the 46. That would appear to be 3 yards. And he now has passed Taylor, although he's been going back and forth or surrounding Taylor's number 3 spot. We'll wait for the announcement. They spot the ball back at the 45. He has done a dramatic job of trying to get 1 or 2 yards, hasn't it?
This is like one of those TV suspense thrillers. You got to wonder when the hammer's going to fall.
Well, if Harris breaks it, maybe he'll break it with a good long run. He's right at tied with Taylor as he has been earlier in the game. Bradshaw, 2nd and 8, in trouble, and throws it to Thornton. Incomplete. No, they're going to call it a sack. They rule that Ted Washington had Bradshaw in control, brass band control, and that's the quick whistle designed for one purpose: protect the quarterback. And although the fans don't like it, Noel may not like it, it is to the benefit of the health of the quarterbacks in the league, and that's why there's going to be the quick whistle, and we applaud it.
Well, Chuck Noll may be a little angry in this case, but overall, I'm sure that he would rather see the protection of his quarterback than the kind of shots the quarterback can take if they don't blow the quick whistle. That's the first sack by the Houston Oilers. They did well in sacks last year. They have not been getting that kind of pressure this year in the preseason, and they haven't gotten it today. Maybe this is a prelude of things to come, Dick.
All right, it's 3rd down and 18. And down he goes again. And fortunate he didn't fumble. So back-to-back sacks by Houston put it at the 28-yard line. And Pittsburgh will have to punt. And Franco Harris has passed Taylor. He got enough yardage on that last short gain that he is 1 yard ahead of Jim Taylor, number 3 spot. All-time in NFL history. O.J., Jim Brown, they both wore 32. He said, I picked 32 in high school because Jim Brown, he was the man. We all wanted to wear 32. And then in college, O.J. Simpson just fortified my feelings. And now he belongs with him. He said, I had no idea. That wasn't a dream. I never thought I'd be this good.
Typical of Franco, would pass very quietly. He's a very unassuming man.
See, what a nice point. You're exactly right, Merlin. That's the way he does his record breaking. Just hardly even applause. Just a ripple. Colquitt slices one to the 43, and the lateral bounce out of bounds. So Houston gets a break on a rare short kick by Craig Colquitt. He almost missed it completely.
I've never seen him kick the ball that badly.
So the Oilers, good field position, have a bit of momentum. Let's see if they can build on it. 8 minutes remaining, third quarter, 17-3 Steelers.
The value of your money is more important than ever these days, so get professional answers to financial questions like these.
Pop will be leaving the business in a few years to retire. Isn't now the time he should get professional advice on his retirement plans?
A good retirement program is important. For the advice you need, see a full-service bank. They've got the answers.
You know, this baby is really going to help me do a lot more work. I wonder, though, if I ought to buy it or lease it.
Let a professional help you decide what's best. See your full-service bank. They've got the answers.
My girls seem to have grown up faster than my income. Now Susan needs braces.
And Shelley's ready for college.
I guess we'll have to borrow some money. There are lots of ways.
Which is best for us?
Keep your checking and savings at a full-service bank and get professional answers to your financial questions. America's full-service banks. We've got the answers.
Short 28-yard kick. And Houston in position as 43 updates. New England leading 20-3. And the Giants have taken a 17-14 lead against St. Louis. New England leading Cleveland 20-3. Grogan hitting Morgan a 67-yard bomb. Campbell hit in the back that he wants to throw, it looks as if. Yes, he does. And throws it down to White Shoes at the 30. 20, might go all the way, and he will. So White Shoes Johnson celebrates with his dance, and Houston pulls within a touchdown if they can make this extra point. Campbell, it looked as if he wanted to throw it. Johnson was isolated one-on-one. The pass was short, and that worked to perfection for Houston.
And what a heady play by White Shoes Johnson. He was ahead of the defender. He stopped and came back. Watch it yourself here. You see Campbell. He's lifted the ball as if he wants to throw, but he can tell that White Shoes is covered. A very fine defensive play, except for the fact that White Shoes stepped behind Ron Johnson and then took the ball and showed us some of the speed that made him the most feared special teamer in the NFL a few years back. And how many times did we see that
he started
dance
the whole
in the end
dance.
zone?
He started the whole process, didn't he? One of the early artists. Kick is good by Frisch. So suddenly, lightning strikes for the Houston Oilers here in Pittsburgh. With 7 minutes and 58 seconds left in the third quarter, Bum Phillips with a little Texas draw there. A touchdown in a 17-10 game.
People in distant lands have gone to great lengths to rent Ryder trucks because the legend of Ryder trucks has spread from country to country, and tales of their incredible reliability have been told and retold. No wonder people around the world go to such extremes to rent shiny, clean Ryder trucks.
She's beautiful.
So be grateful, America. You're the land of plenty of Ryder trucks.
There is one beer, only one, with gusto, expertly brewed and carefully aged to produce a consistently smooth and mellow flavor, glass after glass. It is a beer where every drop is thoroughly, quietly chilled lagered for a bold, exciting taste that says, this is Schlitz, and this is gusto. Go for it.
This is Bryant Gumbel in New York reporting that in New England, the Patriots have taken a 20-3 lead over the Browns. Steve Grogan, much maligned in the offseason, hits Stanley Morgan right here. And right out of the middle of four of them, it is off to the races. Nobody in the NFL catches Morgan from behind. Good for 67 yards. It's 20-3. Let's go to Three Rivers and Dick Enberg.
All right, Bryant, as Morgan was in the end zone for New England, so it was Earl Campbell hitting White Shoes Johnson here in Pittsburgh.
No question that this is a shocker. The first pass that Campbell has thrown in his professional career, and it goes for a touch, and it goes to someone who is equally happy, White Shoes Johnson.
Houston kicks it off. Larry Anderson was hurt on the last punt, and so that's Theo Bell returning this kick. 20, football. Darrell Hunt, number 50. Oh, what a turnabout here in the land of the Steelers. Dominated the first quarter and first half, and Houston comes out, gets a field goal, a razzle-dazzle touchdown, and then a fumble recovery on the kickoff return at the 22-yard line.
It appeared to number 81, Jeff Roth, is the man that punched it out. Watch him here. Swings around from behind with the arm, pops that ball loose, and 50. Darrell Hunt is the man that alertly jumped on that football. Stabler has his chance to get them back even in this ball game. And you're right, that it starts turning. It has really turned against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
From the 22, Bum Phillips' team looking for a tying touchdown. It's Stabler immediately to the air. Look at the protection. And incomplete. And what a save by Mike Wagner, diving and just deflecting that pass intended for White Shoes Johnson. Oh, my.
Well, we said that this Oiler team doesn't quit. They proved that last year. They came the hard way through the playoffs as a wild card, and certainly came through their frustration of the first half to get right back into this ball game.
The snake brings him out of there. Now the turnovers are even 4 aside. Boy, that is where the game can change complexion so rapidly. Blitz on. Over the middle and a flag down. Johnson and another flag as Mel Blunt apparently bumped Johnson, but a flag also at the line of scrimmage. These may be negating penalties as Pittsburgh put on the full rush. 7:37 left in the third quarter. A game that seemed hopeless early for the Houston Oilers has turned around. Patience is a virtue, and quality certainly does surface.
Motion, 86, offense, interference, 47, defense, penalties offset, still second down.
Earl Campbell, although he has not thrown as a professional, was known to throw those kind of passes in high school. We just gotten word that he actually threw 3 of those, 3 touchdown passes as a high school running back. So I guess he knows how to do it. Certainly proved that today.
Second down, 10, 21-yard line. Oilers trail 17-10 midway through the third quarter. Stabler. Campbell didn't drop that one, and he's down to the 12-yard line, close to a first down, I believe short by a yard. Jack Lambert made the tackle. San Francisco leads New Orleans 20-7 in the third quarter. 49ers much improved. That's an update for George Hagler in Hawaii.
If we were trying to get a good definition for the word fear, I think it might be playing corner at about 180 pounds and seeing Earl Campbell catch the football all by himself in the secondary and realizing that you were the only one between Earl Campbell and the end zone. No, thank you.
That'll put you in the whirlpool. It is a first down for the Oilers at the 11-yard line, and Kenny Stabler and Houston pounding close to a tying touchdown. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
WFMJ, Youngstown.
Back at Three Rivers Stadium, Pittsburgh, midway through the third quarter. Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen. The Oilers down 17-0 in the first quarter. A chance to tie it up. They trail 17-10, and Campbell is out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Maybe closer than that. Wrestled out by Donnie Shell, 31. The Steelers doing everything right and seemingly getting all the breaks. Moved into a 17-0 first quarter lead. The Oilers, who had a miserable first half, dropped no less than 8 passes, have come back in the third quarter to score 10, and they're 1.5 yards away from tying the game.
What a fine run by Earl Campbell, showing you the quickness and the speed and the power. An awesome, hard running, almost impossible to tackle at times, back.
Second down and 1 for a first down, 1.5 yards for a touchdown. Penalty flag down as they used a little reverse, and Rob Carpenter wound up with the football, but a whistle before the snap.
And we had moving on the right side of the line by Houston Oilers, and that's a costly penalty. Oh, You get down to that 1 yard line. You don't want to walk back. Those are such tough yards down inside that 10-yard line.
Stabler, Renfro with a word from Bum Phillips. That
60,
changes the whole strategy.
offense,
Instead of it being second down
second
and
down.
less than a yard, now it's second down and almost 6 for a first down, and a little more than 6 for a touchdown. Actually didn't mark off a full 5 yards. And the Steeler fans chant defense. 17-10. Pittsburgh leads. Stabler, the new quarterback of the Oilers, to Castor. The ex-Jet is to the 2 and maybe the 1.5 yards. And Castor showing some power as he got a couple extra yards just with good aggressive play.
Possible to get the first down here without getting the touchdown, as Houston is going to have a 3rd down situation.
They mark it right at the 1 yard line. 3rd down.
Very close.
It appears the sticks are inside the 1.
Now they're going to measure it. I think that's the smart thing to do.
While they bring in the chains, a chance to update other action. St. Louis now leads New York 21-17. Otis Anderson 24-yard run. And it's Minnesota 21, Atlanta 6. Tommy Kramer's thrown 3 touchdown passes for the Vikings. Recapping this one as they measure in the first quarter, first play of the new season. Larry Anderson returned the opening kickoff 63 yards for Pittsburgh, and shortly thereafter Bradshaw hit Sidney Thornton for a 29-yard touchdown pass. Interception by Blunt, but the Steelers unable to capitalize. Eventually they did score on a 12-play march as Franco Harris bowled over from 1 yard to make it 14-0. Another Blunt interception and a 27-yard field goal by Matt Barr ensued to make it 17-0. Houston struggled, and that's being kind throughout the first half, but not so here in the 3rd quarter as they've come out, took the kickoff to start the second half, and marched to a field goal by Frisch of 31 yards. Earl Campbell, the White Shoes Johnson pass, 57 yards, makes it 17-10, and now it's 3rd down and inches for a first down, 3rd and 1 for a touchdown. A fumble, and Houston apparently recovered, and how the brakes are turning. That's the kind of play that Pittsburgh recovered time and time again. There were 3 deflections for interceptions in the first half for Pittsburgh. What a break for the Oilers. They coughed it up, but recovered for a first down.
Do you get the feeling you've watched 2 separate games today, Dick Enberg?
I guess you roll the dice long enough, it does even up.
Watch that ball pop out again. An indication of the timing problems that will exist between Kenny Stabler, his backs, and his receivers. Did not get the handoff cleanly to Earl Campbell. Campbell obviously concentrating so thoroughly on getting up into that line, and Stabler stepped a little too far. But a great break, 1st and inches.
Conway Heyman recovered the fumble. 1st and goal. It is a touchdown for Earl Campbell. Going back to the fumble recovery by Heyman. Merlin, it's interesting to note Conway Heyman, right tackle, 6'3", 270. You know what his nickname is? Earl. So Earl Campbell coughed it up, and the other Earl in the middle of the line says, I got it right here.
And Earl Campbell certainly came through on that carry into the end zone. And did you hear how quiet it got here in this stadium?
There are a few Oiler fans, and there was a ripple over there, kind of lost in the 54,000 Steeler fans. And here's the try for point by Houston that would even the game at 17. How far they've come so quickly. Good spot by Gifford Nielsen as the ball came in on one hop, and we have a new game. 6 minutes, 21 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. How do you do? Houston 17, Pittsburgh 17.
Got a date, Jack?
Do I ever?
One look good?
Yeah.
Try this.
Oh, come on, Gabriel. This vest must cost a fortune.
But it's yours for $9.95.
You're kidding.
Just buy 2 Gabriel shocks and get the vest for $9.95.
I'll try it out, thanks.
Jack, the shocks?
Sure.
Oh, Jack. Jack.
Johnny Rutherford, winner of the 1980 Indianapolis 500. Jim Hall, designer and builder of the winning Pennzoil Chaparral. Rutherford and Hall, and the bright yellow car that won it all. Johnny and a $40,000 Cosworth engine made it go. The motor oil that helped keep it going? We run with Pennzoil. And they won with Pennzoil. Ask for it.
This is Bryant Gumbel in New York, and that game in Buffalo, Miami has turned it over again. Greasy going for Jimmy Cefalo. It's interception by Jeff Nixon, his third turnover recovery of the day. 2 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery in that game. 9 turnovers already. Miami out in front, 7-3. Let's go back to Three Rivers.
And here at Three Rivers Stadium, Pittsburgh, a 1-yard bust up the middle by Campbell has tied the game at 17. And the kickoff is short, taken on the run, and tackled immediately at the 27-yard line. The Steelers rookie, 44, Frank Pollard. He was drafted in the 11th round out of Baylor. And now the Steeler crowd comes to life as they cheer the offense. Giants have moved in front of St. Louis, 24-21. Phil Simms to Johnny Perkins, 58-yard touchdown throw. The Oilers have scored 17 points in 4 minutes and 34 seconds. That's how quickly things can turn around.
Well, Bradshaw's no stranger to coming back from tied or being behind. Let's see what he does here.
He gives to Franco, not a bad place to start. After he's hit, he dives forward for 3 more out to the 33. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Andy Doris, 69. Ted Washington, 59 on the tackle. Campbell has scored on the ground and thrown his first pro pass for a touchdown.
Perhaps ironic that his most important play would be a pass rather than the runs, although he did score on that short one going in.
After he had a second chance fumbling at the 1 as a handoff misfire. Bradshaw trying to rally the Steelers. Toss to Harris. Read well by Stemrick, who came up from the right corner, and Harris finally had to duck out of bounds back at the 29-yard line for a loss.
Very often the man who makes the tackle may not be responsible for the tackle. On that last play, number 52, Brazil, upfield very quickly, had to sacrifice his body, but forced Franco Harris so deep that the play had to go back behind the line, and Stemrick able to come up and force him out of bounds for the loss.
Boy, what a team that must have been at Jackson State. Walter Payton and Robert Brazil and Vernon Perry, and I guess you can go on and on. They really produced some great players for the NFL. 3rd down and 8. Bradshaw. Incomplete. Good coverage in that pass defense for Houston. Vernon Perry was right in the thick of it again. And the Steelers, unable to pick up the first down, have to give the ball right back.
Talking to the Pittsburgh coaches, they felt that the biggest improvement in this Houston team in the last year came in their pass rushing ability and in their secondary, especially in prevent situations. They utilized the 4-man rush so much more effectively. You saw it right there. Pressure on the quarterback, the bad throw, good coverage, and they've got a kicking situation.
Roach is deep inside his 30. A good kick by Colquitt. Roach is at his 24. And out of bounds at the 34-yard line. The 46-yard kick by Craig Colquitt. Within 7 of San Francisco. Houston has scored 17 points in the 3rd quarter in Pittsburgh to tie the Steelers. From the 34, Campbell breaks a tackle, gets outside to the 38-yard line. Donnie Shell, the torpedo from South Carolina State, up to make the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 6. Mike Renfro, 82, injured on that last play, and hopefully not a serious one. It's knee or ankle.
It might possibly be a cramp. That's certainly what you'd hope for. The way he's walking off, it may be that. And he is walking well enough that I think maybe that's what it is. The way he had his foot up, it looked like that calf muscle may have just cramped up. It's been a hot and a long training camp, and muscles still have a tendency to knot up a bit, especially when you're emotional, and this is an emotional team on that far sideline.
He looks okay. Jeff Groth has replaced him. He's to the left in the slot with White Shoes Johnson, Barber on the right. A fake to Campbell and a throw to Campbell. Breaks one tackle Oh, what an effort by Campbell to get a first down at the 45-yard line. Hit by 2 Steelers, and he just refused to go down until he got beyond the yardsticks.
Dick, we talked early about Stabler's going back to Campbell after he dropped the first 3 passes of the day. Since that time, he's caught everything thrown at him. Now, that means so much to Earl Campbell, and it means so much to these Houston Oilers. If Stabler were less confident as a quarterback, if he weren't the smart leader that he is, he'd have left Earl Campbell quickly. Campbell may never have seen many passes the rest of the year.
Going to the blacksmith over there on the sidelines is Campbell. Carpenter replacing him, the lone setback. First down from the 45. It's to Campbell, or Carpenter rather. And he's out of bounds at the 45. Good defensive play by Mel Blount, the veteran from Southern University. In his 11th year, he has 42 interceptions. Renfro appears to be okay. Son of Ray Renfro, the former great at Cleveland and elsewhere.
One of those plays that really doesn't end up getting you much, but it teaches a lesson in the ability of Stabler to get the ball off quickly and to pick his receivers effectively. There's the first half and second half statistics. We talked about 2 different games. There they are.
Boy, what evidence. Second down, 11. To Castor, incomplete at the 40 of Pittsburgh. He was double teamed. Robin Cole and Mel Blount. It was a leg cramp. As you had speculated, for Renfro, he's okay. Update. The Giants much maligned after their summer performance, but the bell is rung and they're playing well against St. Louis. 31-21. Phil Simms has thrown 4 touchdown passes, 3 of them to Ernest Gray. 10, 37, and 42 yards. 3rd and 11. Don't forget all the scores and highlights over most of these stations after the game. 3rd and 11. Barber, can he make it? He dives forward, and that's going to be close to a first down. They may have to measure. Mike Barber from Louisiana Tech, same school that graduated Terry Bradshaw. 85-44.
Bum's making the percentage call. He's making a percentage call, and I admire him for that. You got to be smart. You got to be a smart football player as well as a gutty football player, and sometimes being smart dictates that you make the percentage call. And then talk to the official about the way he spotted the ball.
Got to talk to Bum. He's going to wear out the tops of his ears. He keeps pressing that head down harder and harder. That's tough on the lobes. Minnesota leading Atlanta 21-13. Bartkowski to Jenkins, a 46-yard touchdown for the Falcons. Parsley in an apparent punt situation. The Steelers have no one deep. He's kicking.
Very nice punt. Somebody get down and
bad bounce for Houston. It kicked too hard, although he had floated it down to around the 10, just as Parsley wanted to do.
Well, that's exactly what the punter tries to do in that situation. Hangs it very high, gets his people down, and they'd like to trap it, but the ball just took one hard kick and rolled into the end zone.
Other scores: New England 27, Cleveland 3 early in the 4th quarter. It's 7-3. Miami leading at Buffalo 3rd quarter. 10-3. Tampa Bay leads Cincinnati 2nd quarter. Bradshaw on first down. Wide open. 45-yard line to John Stallworth. All alone. Mike Reinfeldt was the closest white uniform.
The blitz was on. And when you blitz a quarterback like Bradshaw, you better get to him, because that puts the pressure on the defensive backs. Brazil held out, could not get to him. The ball floated, drops a little short. Stallworth right back to it. Excellent reception. 1st and 10.
Lynn Swan was telling me how Bradshaw does that so well. He tells you where the defense is by where he throws the ball. By throwing it low, he was telling Stallworth, watch out, you're going to get hit from behind. It's a 25-yard gain and a first down at the 45. Thornton, Bulldog, after a 2-yard gain. Other scores: 31-21. The Giants lead at St. Louis, 3rd quarter. 3rd quarter, Minnesota 21, Atlanta 13. 3rd quarter, San Francisco 20, New Orleans 13. 4th quarter, Bears and Green Bay tied at 6. Up to date on all the scores.
Just looking at Sidney Thornton, number 38, on the Steelers side of the line. I think he's the only man. If you look from the waist down, look at the hips and the thighs of Thornton. Very similar in build to Earl Campbell. A difficult man to tackle with that low center of gravity.
5'11" and 230. A lot like Robert Newhouse, too, the Dallas Cowboys bowling ball. 2nd and 8. Intended for Randy Grossman, and a flag is down, and we may have a penalty against Houston. Not for that little altercation, but before the pass was thrown.
It looked like there may have been an offensive lineman downfield when that ball was thrown. And there's another penalty thrown down the field. We'll have to see what the officials are doing to sort that out. Vernon Perry involved in that skirmish on the sideline. The play before this one, he'd had an altercation at the line of scrimmage, and often losing your temper and retaliating results in a penalty.
Officials still discussing. Referee, of course, easily identified because he wears the black hat.
Does that mean he's a bad guy?
I think to most players and
Personal
coaches,
foul,
yes.
Blow to the head, 32, defense.
That's Vernon Perry, blow to the head, personal foul.
Ball downfield, number 52.
But Mike Webster was downfield.
Second down.
Offsetting penalties.
Again, the illustration of the importance of keeping your temper and maintaining and controlling your emotions. Had Perry not made that very silly maneuver on the outside, they'd have marched off a penalty against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lost it down, they'd have been a chance there to get them going again.
Absolutely. Jack Tatum, 28, who has an interception, the former Raider, is in the back 5 now of Houston on 2nd and 8. Bradshaw will throw. Stallworth at the 41-yard line of Houston. First down. Vernon Perry made the tackle.
Difficult, excuse me, Dick, difficult sometimes to generate and get things moving after you've kind of stalled out. And I think that's the tough job for Bradshaw here, to get this offense back and moving. And certainly if he can do that, to get them on the board again, it's going to make it tough on Houston.
He's done it through the air. He's not been running much, nor has he been running effectively. Whoops. And left side of the Pittsburgh line, or did Houston jump first?
I don't know who jumped, but we got somebody on the ground down there.
One of the Oilers with the pumpkin.
Dr. Doom.
It's against the Steelers. Illegal procedure. That'll make it 1st and 15, to the dismay of Chuck Knoll of the Steelers.
I think you can always tell.
66, offense, still first down.
I think you can always tell what the attitude of that coach is by the amount of space that the players are giving him. When Knoll starts to fume, everybody just kind of stiffs out, moves aside to give him room.
Just like that baseball dugout. The manager at one end and all the players at the other. 1st and 15 from the Oiler 46. Franco on a draw, and he's to the 39, maybe the 38. Some of the fans thought he was collared on the tackle, but no flag. 8 yards for Franco as he builds on that number 3 position all time. Chuck Knoll, 49, 12th year, 8 straight playoffs. If Pittsburgh goes to the playoffs this year, it'll be an all-time NFL record, 9 in a row. Last May, he earned an honorary doctorate here at Duquesne University. Presented him with that high honor. So it's Dr. Chuck Knoll. Many football experts feel that's well-deserved in more ways than one. 2nd and 7th. Good protection. Open is Thornton. First down at the 22-yard line.
Steelers blitzing on this play. Picked up brilliantly by the left side of that offensive line. Bradshaw has time, and nobody over there to cover the receiver. Thornton makes another big catch. You recall that he caught the first touchdown pass with almost that amount of room to spare early in the ball game.
They spotted at the 23. This has been a march from the 20-yard line for Pittsburgh, their own 20. Franco Harris ran right into Ted Washington. Washington hiding in a hole on that left side. He saw Harris try to dip outside, and Washington made a solid tackle for a loss of a yard. As the gun sounds, ending a big third quarter for Houston. We go to the final period. The two top teams in the AFC last year. Corral.